Have you ever said something to someone, and when you said it, you go, oh, that was not the right thing to say? Have you ever said something to someone, and it wasn't until much later that you realized the impact that you had upon that person? Some of us have said things, and we don't really care what the impact we have on them. I'd like you to journey with me to a conversation I had with my brother, and I realized the impact I had upon him. Journey with me to January 1994. I am sitting in law school class, and I hear a knock on the door at Professor Rhoda Berkowitz's class, which you never disturbed. I turned around, and the woman said, "Is Diana Pinsky, my maiden name, here? There's an emergency for her." I grabbed my stuff. I go out, and I talk to her. She says, "You need to call home ASAP. There's an emergency." I ran to the then payphones that they don't have anymore, got on the phone, called home. My sister Cheryl said, "Diana, where are you?" "I'm at the law school." "Why? What's up?" "Mom's okay." "What's wrong?" "Mom's okay. But Damon, my brother, just tried to kill Mom." "She's okay. Damon's in jail. Get home as soon as possible. Goodbye." Click. Okay. Immediately, I began to rewind the 23 years of my life. You see, up until that point, I did a pretty good job of hiding the dysfunction that lies ever so deeply in my family. My 45-minute drive home made me think about everything that I went through, and just realizing my cover was blown. I walk in the house. I see my mom crying, my sister there. We all cry. I said, "Mom, what do we do?" "Tomorrow we get up, we go to Damon, and we help him." And that's exactly what we did. The following day, we get up, we go to the jail, walking down this speckled corridors, as I can just see it right now, and seeing my brother as if I'm watching a movie behind a plate of glass, crying, begging for forgiveness. And my mother said, "It's going to be okay. We're going to get you out." And as some of you know my personality, I'm like, I am on the scene. Let's do this. Let's go. I talked to the judge as if I already was an attorney. I was like, we got to get this done, get my brother out, and we began to work. I got my brother, I was doing this coaching to him that I never knew I had this skill. He lost 25 pounds. He got accepted to college. He started working at the law firm that I started working at as a runner. I was there as a legal assistant, and we worked together. All the while, I'm getting D's and C's in law school. I said, I'm not cut out for this law school stuff. I'm out. I was starting to do this modeling gig, and get my little walk on, go to New York. And I told my brother, I said, okay, I need to talk to you because you and we're going to move to New York together. And by the way, my brother had already worked through a lot of the psychological stuff, and he was ready to live his life. But his older sister was like, no, I want you to come live with me. What you're going to do is that when I get back from New York, you're going to go ahead and pack your stuff, and then we're going to be out of here. And my brother said, absolutely not. I'm going to do this. And we began to argue and cuss at each other. And at that very moment, I thought to persuade him to my way, I said, you remember what you did to Mom. And at that point, his shoulders drooped. His head went down, and he said, yes. My little self-righteous self just went away. Okay, you get your stuff. It's time to go. When I say go, went on and got my little bag ready to go to my little modeling thing in New York. That night, my mom called me and said, Damon, where's Damon at? I said, what do you mean, Mom? What's up? She says, you need to go check on your brother. Why, Mom? Would you just let him go? I mean, seriously. That night, I checked on my brother, knocked on the door as haughty as ever. Damon, call your mom. She wants you to call. I know you're in there. But I didn't know he wasn't in there. The following day, I went to the airport. My girlfriend's late as always. I'm like, where's she at? Come on. Good thing she was late. I got a call, another call on a white courtesy phone. This call was a little different. You see, I picked up the phone, and my aunt was on the other line. She said, Damon jumped off a bridge. You mean he fell off a bridge? Is he okay? Did he get hurt? Your brother is dead, Diana. He committed suicide. I died. Literally. Do you hear me? I died. I realized that day what my words did to someone. Stripped the very life out of them. And our words do that. They strip the life from people. And we don't realize the impact of that. How do I live with this? What do I do? I can't take my life because then my mom would lose another child. What do I do? You have no idea. Saying something to someone and seeing them in a casket 3 days later, what do? I go live at the self-help aisle at Barnes & Noble. Zig Ziglar and Tony Robbins became my middle name. I was a self-help junkie, as self-help junkies could be. I got notebooks, reams of them, writing down stuff, trying to get fulfilled, and I just couldn't get full. I sought out the only help that I could find, and that was Jesus Christ. I read from cover to cover the story of this man's life. And finally, my taste began to get quenched. I went on a quest. I went on a journey to know who this man was for me and if he could save my life because I needed to be saved. I needed to find a way to live. And I found out that I'm not the only one who went on this quest. There's this guy named Gandhi who went on a quest to change the world. And if my mama is out here somewhere or watching the tape, she's probably wondering, why is she my baby girl talking about Gandhi? Because I was raised Baptist. It's okay, mama. Okay. So Gandhi said, I like your Christ, but I don't so much like your Christians. What he said was, if Christians would really live according to the teachings of Christ, as found in the Bible, all of India would be Christian? That's a lot of folk. What I realized was that Gandhi was just as frustrated as I was with the human experience. You see, we are human beings. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. Do you get that? Beings. That's the other part of the human. The problem is the human part is jacked up from the floor up. Jacked. I continued reading in my Bible about this dude named Saul who turned to Paul. Saul had a living. He was killing Christians, y'all. Killing Christians for a living. Had a journey and a quest and found Jesus Christ. Wrote half the New Testament, and he wrote this scripture. He says, I don't understand myself. Sometimes I do what I don't want to do. And what I do, I said, I know. I do that too. What am I going to do? If he ain't got it right, what am I going to do? He wrote half the New Testament. But what I realized was everything that this world stands for is contrary to what Jesus said. It's plastic. It's made up. It's get what you want. So Gandhi is tripping out on the Beatitudes, right? Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. When the Pharisees were trying to kill Jesus, they asked him, okay, teacher, what's the greatest commandment of all? Profound. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. Is that it? That's it? Yes. It's that simple. But it's not, is it? Love your enemies? Pray for them? Are you kidding me? Who does that? Who does that? Well, Jesus. So that's what Gandhi was talking about. Like, if you just start doing more of that, I bet you that all of us would be with you, but you've got to get closer to your being experience and stop being so human. Humans are the only species in the entire world who can decide. They have discernment. They have a brain that works like, I can decide to do this. That sometimes is the problem. The Bible that I read, that I love, that this person named Jesus that I equate to, he said, I stand at the door and knock. He's not barging in. You got to open the door. That's what he said to me. Okay, I'm going to open the door. But he said, love. To my lawyer friends and my political activists who say, Diana, come on, you got to do more than just love. Well, love is not just a word. It's not. Andrew Marin, I love him. He's got this Marin Foundation. He's trying to bridge the gap between the LGBT community and the church, because there's a huge gap, to try and teach them the teachings of Christ. He says it's a measurable expression of one's unconditional behaviors toward one another. Unconditional. So no matter how you behave, I'm still going to love you. Okay? That's what I say to my kids all the time, because sometimes it's hard. No matter how you behave, I'm still going to love you. Love you. That's what we're talking about. It's that deep, y'all. You know what? And Martin Luther King took it a step further. That was what the whole civil rights movement was all about. He even studied Gandhi. Did you know that? He studied Gandhi because he wanted to know, how do I do this? It's like he told the mama who's crying at the church with her head down saying, oh, they just lynched my son. And he says, don't fight back. Because guess what? Darkness can't drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Did you know that? Hate is easy. That's our human nature. It's carnal. It's just simple. It's what we naturally do of the world. It's what we do. Hate is easy. Love takes courage. Are you that courageous to love unconditionally? Are you brave enough to do that? That's the question you have to ask yourself. It's what the whole civil rights movement is all about. What I do in my job at the Fair Housing Center, I love it. I get to teach clients no, because, when she called you a black H, you can't go back and call her a white H. That doesn't work. I can't say the H ends with the E. I can't say that on stage. But I feel like, we all have to learn this experience. We all have to learn it. You see, I've found some ways that I strive to live my faith and speak my truth in love. I have to live a faith worth living. I have to live a faith worth living. What are you living for? Find out. Because guess what? Because if you don't know, you will constantly be in sorrow, looking around for other people trying to approve you. I put these 4 things on the screen because strive is italicized. It could be in quotes because it's hard. You see, because I'm going on 17 years of marriage this Saturday, and my husband still can't read my mind. I was just like, when my face is like, you need to help me with the laundry. When I'm like, you need to help me cook. No, that's an unrealistic expectation. I love what my brother Ben Snyder at Cedar Creek was talking about, this topic of expectations. What makes you think someone knows something that you're trying to think? Either you need to change the way you think or have a difficult conversation and clear the air. Number 1, check unrealistic expectations. Give sacrificially. I like to give sacrificially. That don't mean I like to give everything away, because when I was pregnant, my sisters, I had this smell thing, this aversion thing, so I was giving all kinds of stuff away, like perfume. My sister's like, you better call Diana, because she's going to be able to give you some perfume. They were all lining up trying to take all my stuff. I'm talking about giving stuff away, my talents, my time, my love to other people. I like giving away sacrificially because then I don't have to hold on to something and be attached to it, because sometimes you get these unrealistic expectations. When you give something away, she didn't even send me a thank you card. I don't believe that. No, don't do that. Me living vulnerable, authentic, and transparent is energy to me. Because if you really looked up I got a lot of junk in my trunk, I really do. Messed up. But when I let go of the thought that you get to have power over me because you get to have all these thoughts, I don't care. You're going to have them anyways. So rather I live alive, vulnerable, transparent, hit me with your best shot. I don't care. Fire away. I don't care. The next thing I like to do is unconditional forgiveness. Why? Because I had to learn how to forgive myself. We don't spend time forgiving ourselves, and that sometimes is the problem. I'm going to forgive myself, forgive my husband, forgive my mama, my friends, whatever. I'm going to forgive everybody. You know what? It's freedom for you. It's just freedom for you. Try it. Because what happens is when you're constantly trying to stay in unforgiveness, you're the one who's holding the hot coals. You're the one who's upset, got ulcers, and, messed up, just shaking and twitching. That's not a good place to be. Live in unconditional forgiveness. Now, I have to tell you, this image right here reminds me of, Marjorie was talking about the prostitute. This is the image of Jesus drawing a line in the sand. He says, you know what? All you Pharisees over here who are about to stone this prostitute, tell me, which one of you who have no sin, cast your first stone. They all dropped their stones, one by one, and walked away. How many of you casting stones? Throwing them, spitting them out. Some of you like this. You need to drop your stone. Stop casting a stone. Live a life of love. For me, I'm going to continue to live a faith worth living. I'm going to speak my truth in love, not just with this, because that's part of the problem. I'm going to behave and love with my actions. Remember what Mama said? They speak louder than words. The image that will forever be in my mind is this. A time when we were smiling, my brother Damon and I. I will always remember this. This is the time when I get to say, you know what? It is well. It is well with my soul. Thank you.